I'm Father Chuck Tobin, retired priest from here at St. Sabina Parish in Belton, Missouri. And over the past year, during this year of mercy, Pope Francis had chosen different people, more or less one per diocese, to be what he called a missionary of mercy. And so I served as a missionary of mercy for a year, having gone to the Vatican on Ash Wednesday to be commissioned by Pope Francis, and then served. Basically, it meant two different things. One was that missionary of mercy priests were allowed to forgive certain sins that normally were referred only to the Vatican. Things such as if you attacked the Pope, which most people wouldn't have done, or if people had in some way devalued the Eucharist or destroyed the Eucharist in some sense. And then on top of that, of course, was preaching about mercy, which I've done over this past year. Well, the year came to an end November the 20th with the last Sunday of the year, of the church year. And it was at that time that Pope Francis decided to continue the role of the priest as missionary of mercies. So therefore, I did get an email and a request from the Vatican asking that I agree to do this indefinitely. And it required that I speak to our bishop, to Bishop Johnson of our diocese here in Kansas City, St. Joseph, which I did, and he's agreed. So I will continue that role as a missionary of mercy in the coming months. Also, though, in many ways, you too have been called by the Holy Father to be a missionary of mercy. And by that he meant that he asked a long time ago, back at least 2-3 years ago in a document, he asked that all of us attempt to be a person of mercy, a person of tremendous empathy for others, and a person of tremendous compassion. I think today that's very important for all of us, no matter what parish we may be in, what person we may be, because around the world there is now so much violence, whether it's in countries like Syria, or even in southern Sudan, or in other areas. There are so many people that are experiencing war and violence and hatred and anger. In some ways, you could even say here in the United States, after the elections were over, there's still a lot of people that are divided one from another. And because of that, there's a tremendous awareness that we, as people of faith, are called to truly begin to build a sense of peace and of compassion one toward the other. Pope Francis especially has noted that in wealthier countries where there's a division between the wealthy and the poor, and that inequality between them sometimes after elections gets even worse, where people begin to say, oh, let's give breaks and help to the really wealthy. And the church and many communities of faith are speaking up, as we're asked to do, for those who are impoverished, those who are immigrants, those who are struggling in many ways, either trying to get a job or have a job that pays a fair wage. And here in the United States, even in Kansas City, there have been groups that have been speaking up for things like minimum wage of $15 an hour. And even on $15 an hour, it's very hard to raise a family. So for you and I, we are called to begin to ask, what would it mean for me to have mercy, compassion, understanding, and empathy for other people? It partly means to listen to other people and to listen to their circumstances. Here in St. Sabina, that's a perfect way to begin to listen to those who are immigrants and begin to understand their circumstances. But in any parish, we begin to realize that all of us are called to be people of mercy. And so I gladly say yes to the Holy Father for this coming year, or for the indefinite time that he's suggested, to continue to be this official missionary of mercy. But I invite you to also think about in your own family, in your own neighborhood, yes, in your own parish, in your own nation. What would that mean? And how would you live out this role of being a missionary of mercy? Thank you.